Thank you, Andrea, and good morning to everybody who is listening. So in this presentation, I'd like to give the view on how research and development and education actually can support the European Bauhaus and how this can really help the whole wood sector to co-create with the other disciplines. I'm coming back to the original concept presented also by John Schellnhuber this morning. So how can the wood sector actually become a solution for climate change mitigation? Here you see in a nutshell the forest to building value chain. So by transforming the building environment into a second forest carbon sink, we actually can really have an impact also on the climate change problem. So we see forest management that provides raw material for the wood sector, and the wood sector can sort of provide long life wood products for the built environment. Now, I want to make 2 points here. This solution will only really work if we consider that the wood products are really used in the long term and that they are not burned at the end. This can be done at the end, but the question is, how long can we keep them in the circle and in the loop? So this is why the circular economy concept is really a very important piece of this puzzle. The second part is, this only will work if we consider the whole forest to building value chain. So connecting the building environment back to the products, but even back to the forests, so that we really ensure that we have a sustainable supply of raw material, that there is a sustainable use of forests, which then also ends up in long life wood products that can store carbon for decades and why not centuries. So in a way, the loop back to the atmosphere is really our goal to avoid this. We want to reduce carbon from the Earth system, and this is the solution that the forest to building value chain can offer. Looking a bit more, what are the real key challenges inside the different steps of this value chain? So here are the key topics for research and development when thinking of building with wood. It's about long life wood products, and as Paul and Martin already pointed out, it comprises really the whole range of wood products that we can imagine. The sector is really advancing a lot, thinking about prefabrication, and the real goal is there to upscale this to an even better industrial higher level, overcoming these sort of challenges of small and medium companies and of a sort of fragmented sector. And the real opportunity for us is the renovation aspect, the retrofitting, also thinking about urban densification. So wood can really offer solutions here and has really an advantage to other materials and other systems as well. This has to really be developed and strengthened in the sector. Of course, the whole aspect considers the energy balance of buildings, and the main interesting aspect is also to think about affordable solutions. So this can really be rolled out in the large market. Here's just one example of an ongoing European project, Bazachaun, which looks into sustainable wood construction chains connecting rural and urban areas. It really looks into this aspect, how can forest resources have a regional economic impact, and the approach goes that we have included several companies who are working on industry innovations, focusing on materials, on products and building systems, and which then will end up in 2 full demo buildings, which will be connected by a digital framework. So this is just one example out of many others where R&D really shows how this connection of the value chain can happen. Thinking about the circular economy, the key topics are really that we find all possible solutions, how to repair, how to reuse, how to recycle wood products in the built environment. And this goes into new concepts of circular design, design for disassembly, which is really the key part. The goal in the end is to have a building that can be assembled and disassembled completely without destroying sort of the material, and really working on solutions that have a long-term impact. This also, a main field of topics is really waste wood and the urban mining area. So how can we also get access to the raw materials that we have already in the built environment? How can they be better sorted and reused and put also into valorized side streams and into byproducts, so to really make the most of the wood material that is already used. That it was already mentioned, this circular economy concept is great, but it runs into a lot of regulation barriers today. So there's a lot of red tape that has to be tackled here. Also, just a few examples. So the Wood Circus project is an ongoing project that looks into the state of the art in processing, reuse, and recycling in the wood sector. We are collecting a good practices catalog with many examples of companies. There's also criteria and indicators and LCA case studies developed. And with several stakeholder roundtables, we developed this into recommendations that will be published as a policy white paper. Another interesting project I want to just briefly put the highlight on is InnovaWood. It's a research action funded under the Forest Value co-funding program, and it looks really into the life cycle of timber buildings, into the life cycle of timber within buildings. And it's clear that the deconstruction and the demolition phase is really the phase where the timber actually gets destroyed. Yeah? The timber is intact and could be reused or could stay there for hundreds of years, but because of demolition, actually the structure of the timber is sort of disassembled. The other key topic that we should consider, as pointed out in the beginning, is digitalization. This is really changing the whole industrial sector and as well the wood sector, of course. So there are huge opportunities for us to exploit more solutions to adopt this technology for our challenges in the sector. Thinking about digital twins, digital design, building information models, the wood sector can become much more efficient or industrialized in a way using smart factory systems and automation approaches. The fragmented sector can be connected in a better way if we think about value chain networks, about platforms, and of course also exploit new business models that are possible with this digitalization. And on the other hand, digitalization will also allow us to solve the problems related to resource use. So to really optimize the wood material in the best way. And last but not least, another important pillar of this big transformation, and which should be sort of kickstarted with the new European Bauhaus initiative, is education and skills development. This whole transformation will rely on how are we able to grasp all these challenges, and do we have trained people to do this and to develop these solutions and really implement them in the market. So looking at higher education programs, I think we should really connect better the existing, let's say, wood science and wood technology community and reach out to other disciplines so that more of these transdisciplinary study programs in higher education can be implemented, that there is more exchange with other disciplines. Looking at the workforce and at the industry, we need upskilling, qualification and training programs to really bring the workforce up to speed of these challenges. And there is, of course, a lot of opportunities thinking about the digitalization aspect. So innovation or transformation managers can help to bring in these new solutions in the industry. There's the question of digital literacy and fitness of the workforce, so really trained towards using new approaches to education and training. And of course, which is very important, I would say, for students and anybody who's now today studying a topic related to wood, its mobility and international exchange within Europe, but as well as was said in the beginning, also with other continents, because they are great solutions to discover. Yeah, just also highlighting one project. There is already one Center of Vocational Excellence project funded under the Erasmus scheme. It's called AllView, creating a European dual training platform for the wood and furniture sector, where several VET centers, RTOs, and sector organizations have created a partnership to develop several new curricula for actually the sector. So what is our idea of this Wood4Bauhaus Alliance? In the end, we want to offer a joint platform for co-creation and communication. So linking our sector, our topics inside the sector, and offer it as an interface or a platform to connect to these other disciplines who are very key and very important in the new European Bauhaus to make this big transformation happening. It's about connecting to architecture, urban planning, designers, having a look at this question, what is happening in cities, what is happening in regions, exploring cultural heritage, which is also a big topic in wood, because wood has been used for centuries, if not thousands of years, for creating buildings and products, reaching out to creative industries and also to social actors to make this a just, fair, and affordable change. So just also quickly, some ideas. This is really just to put out some ideas for collaboration that may seem possible, because this is already happening in a way in the wood sector, and it would be great to link this much more to other disciplines. So thinking about knowledge platforms that really describe this topic, building with wood in a sustainable way. Joint transdisciplinary research projects or actions. Demo projects, how circular economy really can happen in the wood sector. We could build a network of European test beds, linking, different regions, different industries to this new Bauhaus concept. This digital aspect can be fostered by specific digital innovation hubs or exploitation platforms that are open to companies and to industry partners to explore more the research results and to connect more to this kind of larger initiatives and topics. Of course, we can also link to public campaigns, innovation contests, hackathons, these prizes for sustainable buildings. There are a lot of initiatives happening on the national scale, but it is not really visible yet on the European scale. As I also said earlier, heritage, cultural heritage research into wood buildings and into wood tradition is probably a very promising field, linking to citizen science, and last but not least, fostering exchange and activities to work on to enhance the skill and the mobility of the workforce. So the Bauhaus platform, it's an alliance of different organizations, which was already pointed out several times. We are here to cooperate, and I just repeat the very nice motto provided by Professor John Schellenhuber: let's reforest our planet and let's retimber our city. Thank you very much.